Good morning. This is Black Crow walking from Australia, bringing you A Course of Love by Mari Perron. And we're doing a study. At the moment, we're up to chapter 14, verse 11, no, 12. But I want to go back to verse 9 because verse 9 just blew me out of the water yesterday because it was so in your face real. And it's talking about how we hold the people we love in bondage to that love. Do you love me? Do you love me? We're so needy, eh? And when we're needy like that and we need that person to love us in order to love ourselves, which is supposed to be the other way around, we love ourselves enough to be able to share that love with others, then we're holding our partners or our family or our kids or our lover in some sort of obligation to love us. And it becomes a bondage. It becomes a torture, actually. And that's why a lot of us break up, because we don't give each other the space to be able to find ourselves, be able to love ourselves, to be able to be good about ourselves. And we need that space. We need that space to sit and feel and think and be. And then we can come back to the relationship and offer our authentic love, not the obligation love that says you have to love me because I married you, or you have to love me because you're my mother. None of that is real. That is just torture, bondage. We are happiness, peace, and freedom. And that freedom is so delicious, so beautiful. Free to love ourselves, and in the loving of ourselves, offering it to everyone around us. When we are in love with life, in love with nature, in love with love, we have so much to give, and it just pours out of us, and it's natural. It's not forced. It's not I have to. I'm giving up all I have tos and coming back to the reality of love without bondage, the reality of love without specialness, having to make the other person be the special one. Come back to love in its truth, in its reality, in its freedom, in its joy, in its peacefulness, in its calmness, in its serenity. Come back to everybody being equal and loving everyone. No specialness, no setting apart, no separation. This one's special, this one's not. When you imply specialness, you imply somebody else isn't special. We all are love. That is the very essence of who we are. So let's start at verse 12 today, because I think I've covered a revamp of verse 9 and 10 and 11. So maybe I'll read the last sentence of verse 10. You thus hold the one you love the most in the greatest bondage and call that bondage a relationship. This can be most clearly seen in relationships that were once everything to you and have since failed. This can be a memory of any relationship, and each of you has one. It can be a parent and a child, or best friends of a marriage or a partnership, or even of a mentor and student. Whatever the relationship's configuration, it is one that truly brought you joy. Within it you were happy and felt as if you needed nothing more than this. It is a relationship so intense that at its peak you would have begun to see its continuation without change, as the major goal of your life. Without it, life would be not worth living, and so it is necessary to retain it at all costs. What cost? What's the cost of staying in a relationship that's based on demand? And let's start today's reading. This is a classic example that reveals much to you about yourself and the world you would have made it, if you are but willing to look at it with eyes that truly see. It is the magnifying glass that will allow you to see your world in all its cost of pain. Oops, it's sorry, I've skipped a sentence there. Allow you to see the world in all its mad confusion. That's better. It is, isn't it? It's just mad confusion out there. Scary. For what caused you such great joy seems to come at the cost of pain, and to leave you more alone and comfortless than before. I'd call that the dating site. How could this be said of love? And how could it have failed you so? And how, if it were real, as it surely felt as if it was, could it prove anything but that love is no answer, and surely not for you? We must begin with what is obvious, a simple point that some of you have denied and some of you could not. What makes this relationship stand out in your mind and feel so painful in your memory of it is that it was quite real in a way that is different from your relationship before or since. No other relationship affected you in such a way. Never were you more sure of a relationship's value to you. Anything that could make you feel so joyous, so safe and warm and loved, could not help but hold a value quite beyond compare. If this were correct, in this you were correct, it was no illusion that caused you to feel this way. This was not the love that passed for love in this world, but something else entirely. For at least one brief moment, this was true love, for nothing but love can be the cause of joy, nor offer a haven of safety in an insane world. It is your response to love that concerns us now, for the return of love is coming, and you do not want to make the same response again. Let's leave it there. What if we could have a relationship that's not based on separation? What if we could have a relationship where we love ourselves and it just spills over into the other? What if we could find the value in every relationship? The value in waving to the postman, the value in just being present with those we love and with those who are in our hemisphere, with those who come into our lives daily. What if we were to offer that love as a valuable asset of the feelings of love that arise in us from loving ourselves and knowing that we are love? Imagine that. We'd all be equal, equally loved. So we let go of all the past woundedness of relationships that we held special, that we wanted to be the one. Are you the one? And we hold close the value of loving everything and everyone. So, sure, we fall in and out of love. I fall in love with my grandson every time I see him. And there's a part of me that's looking for that special love. I'm going to stop that now. I'm just going to love everyone. Because that special love, if that person doesn't match up or line up to my expectations of making me special, am I going to reject that person? Is that how our society taught us to behave? No. I'm going to feel into that today and sit with it. I'm going to feel into it and put it in my heart and see what arises for me. I love you. Love yourself today. It's a good place to be.